Did you know that a single sentence spoken each morning can open the door to an entirely new life? Yes, truly. Your life, with all its unfulfilled dreams, long-lost desires and hopes you've once buried, can begin to shift. With one simple act, the words you choose when you wake. It may sound too easy, but that very simplicity is the essence of every miracle. Florence Scovel Shinn, the woman who awakened thousands of souls during one of America's darkest times, once wrote, "Your word is your wand, charged with power and magic." She didn't speak from theory, but from experience. Affirmations, declarations filled with faith, aren't just sounds. They're streams of creative energy. Every morning when you speak, you are commanding the universe. And the universe is always listening. In today's fast-paced world, most people begin their mornings on autopilot, scrolling through their phones, rushing into the day, breathing without awareness. But you can break that pattern. Just pause for 30 seconds. Close your eyes, place your hand over your heart, and speak a word of light. It doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be poetic. But it must come from belief, and it must echo the sacred truth about you that you were born to live fully, abundantly, and joyfully. Why is the spoken word so powerful? Because it is the bridge between your mind and your reality. Each time you say, "I'm not enough," you reinforce limitation. Each time you whisper, "I can't," you build yet another wall between yourself and your dreams. But when you declare, "I now enter my promised land under grace," and in perfect ways your words begin to rearrange the invisible until what was unseen becomes seen. It's no accident that Florence called words the magic wand. She helped thousands shift their financial circumstances, heal broken relationships, and overcome illness simply by teaching them how to speak rightly. Not with emotion alone, but with the harmony of faith, imagination, and a grounded soul. You might be wondering, what should I say each morning? Start with this powerful affirmation, one of Florence's most beloved lines. "The walls of lack and delay now crumble away, and I enter my promised land under grace." You don't have to understand it fully, feel it. Every time you speak it, you dissolve another inner barrier. And one day, what you've been saying will become what you are living. The miracle is this: you don't need to change the whole world. You only need to change your words. Your words shift your thoughts. Your thoughts shift your emotions. Your emotions shift your vibration. And your vibration draws in a new reality. If you've felt trapped in the same cycle day after day, try this tomorrow morning. It doesn't matter where you are. All that matters is that you choose to speak what is true. The universe doesn't ask for perfection, only your alignment with truth. And now that you know the power your morning words hold, the power to transform your very life, let's move forward together. In the next section, I'll share 5 specific reasons why a morning affirmation can change everything, along with real stories that Florence herself recorded. Get ready, because you're not just watching a video, you're standing at the threshold of an entirely new version of yourself. My dear friend, have you ever paused to ask yourself, could the life you're living today, your relationships, your challenges, your joys and worries have begun with something you once said? You may not remember exactly, but your consciousness does. Because every word you speak, even in a fleeting moment of carelessness, is like a seed falling into the fertile soil of your subconscious, and one day that seed sprouts into the reality you experience. Florence Scovel Shinn once said, "Your word is your wand, charged with power and magic." When you declare something, whether silently in your mind or out loud, you're sending out a vibration. And that vibration is the message you're broadcasting to the universe. Like a radio tuning into a signal, the universe adjusts its frequency to match yours. If you say, "I never have any luck," you're essentially requesting, "Send me more unfortunate events." But when you declare, "All good things are flowing to me with ease," you're opening the door to miracles. One thing Florence emphasized in "Your word is your wand" is this: every word you speak is a summoning command. You're not merely talking, you are calling forth an energy, a situation, a new reality. Words, when combined with belief and emotion, generate a force so powerful it can reshape your world. Think back to the last time you said something negative out of anger or despair. Maybe you muttered, "I'm tired of everything," or "Nothing can fix this anymore." And then, everything seemed to feel worse. Not because words are cursed, but because you activated a destructive belief system. On the other hand, if you chose to say, "I am being guided to the perfect solution," the energy within you begins to shift. That statement doesn't just comfort, it opens the door for resolution. Florence once told the story of a woman who came to her in utter desperation. She had only $2 left and no idea how to pay her rent. But instead of sinking into fear, she was guided to affirm, "My wallet is a magic wallet. Every time money goes out, more money flows in under grace and in perfect ways." And she said it with such faith, she even gave away one of her remaining dollars as a gesture of trust. The result, the universe responded, and within days, she received $6,000. You see, transformation doesn't begin with your circumstances. It begins with your words. Florence didn't teach people to beg, she taught them to declare. When you say with conviction, "I now enter my promised land under grace," you are not pleading, you are reclaiming your divine authority. You may be wondering, how can I believe in something I cannot yet see? The answer lies in your emotions. You don't need to see first in order to believe. You need to feel it as if it were already happening. When you say, "I am living in abundance," let every cell in your body believe it to be true. Florence called it mustard seed. Faith, you don't need a lot, just enough that's alive and real within you. And if believing feels hard right now, that's okay. Start with softer, neutral affirmations, like, "I am open to receiving good things." Say it every morning, and over time you will dismantle the invisible walls built from fear, doubt, and past pain. You don't have to tear everything down in one day. Just sow and keep sowing with your words. When you wake up in the morning, ask yourself, "What kind of energy do I want today to hold?" Then speak it into existence. Try saying, "I choose love, I choose peace, I choose light." And if you're facing something heavy, speak what Florence advised. "I am not bound by circumstances. I am guided and protected by divine intelligence." Each sentence you speak is a brick in the house of your reality. Choose to build with light, not fear. And don't keep this truth to yourself. If your words have helped you get through a difficult day, share your experience in the comments. Our community, those seeking healing and rebirth from within, grows stronger when we pass on the good. Every story you share may become the guiding light for someone else. And guess what? This is only the beginning. In the next section, we'll explore why your words must be fused with emotion and belief to unlock true miracles, and you'll learn how to connect what you say with the truth of your heart, so that every affirmation becomes a living invitation to life. Stay with me. What you're seeking may be hidden in the very next sentence you're about to speak, and I believe it will be a sentence powerful enough to open the next chapter of your life. My dear friend, every time you utter words of complaint, "I'm so tired, everything's always against me," or "I never have enough," you're not just describing your reality, you're reinforcing it. These words act like an invisible glue, keeping you stuck in the very state you wish to escape. As Florence Scovel Shinn once said, "When you speak what is not aligned with your divine nature, you are building walls that separate you from the good that is already yours." The challenge is, we've been taught that speaking about our pain is a way to cope. But very few are ever taught that speaking spiritual truth, wholeness, abundance, unconditional love, is the path to true freedom. Florence never denied earthly reality. She saw fear, lack, illness as passing illusions, and she taught us how to pierce through those illusions with steadfast words rooted in truth. Did you know that many people during the Great Depression found their way out of hardship, not through luck, but through the power of changing their words? Some had lost everything, yet when they began affirming with conviction, "I am divinely guided to the perfect job. The job that is mine by divine right doors," they thought were closed, began to creak open. The truth is, when you affirm what the universe has already prepared for you, you don't have to force it into existence, you simply allow it to unfold. So why is it so essential to speak spiritual truth, even when the reality you face seems filled with poverty, loneliness, or illness? Because your words are seeds planted in the soil of your subconscious, and that soil doesn't discern between real or unreal truth or lie, it simply produces what you plant. When you sow spiritual truth, such as "I am always supported by a higher power," your inner garden begins to push out the weeds of doubt and nurture new shoots of faith. One beautiful example is a powerful affirmation Florence gave to those feeling abandoned or lost. "I am not alone, I am surrounded by light, guided by intuition, and loved unconditionally." Try saying that on a gloomy morning. You may not witness a miracle in that very moment, but what will happen is your mind will begin to reorient from closed to open, from defensive to receptive. We often repeat negative phrases out of habit. But if we've trained ourselves to plant seeds of limitation, then surely we can retrain ourselves to plant seeds of truth. This isn't about fooling yourself. It's about reconnecting with the highest part of you, the part that knows you are worthy of every good thing. If you've struggled financially, instead of saying, "I don't have money," try declaring, "The flow of prosperity moves through me, and I receive it with deep gratitude." If you've felt lonely, trade your sorrowful words for, "Love is racing toward me at the speed of light, because I am the vibration of love." When you do this, you're not just changing your language, you're changing your entire spiritual frequency. And if this feels hard to do alone, remember this: you are not alone on this journey of healing through the spoken word. Our community is growing, souls, awakening, learning to use words not as chains, but as wands. I invite you, if you've ever spoken an affirmation that made your heart or mind vibrate with truth, share it in the comments. You never know, your words may be the light someone else is searching for today. You can also invite friends and loved ones to practice with you. Try placing affirmations by your bedside, taping them to your mirror, or setting a daily reminder so that each morning doesn't begin in a rush, but as a quiet, sacred ritual. And my dear friend, our journey is far from over. In the next section, I'll share with you why belief and emotion must walk hand in hand with your words, and how to turn each sentence into a living, breathing force that can transform your reality. We'll go even deeper into the most delicate part of the practice. How do you speak the right words with a heart that truly feels them? Stay with me in this video, because sometimes all it takes is one sentence spoken at the right moment to change your entire life, and that sentence might be the one you're about to speak tomorrow morning. My dear friend, there is a truth that Florence Scovel Shinn always emphasized, and it is the key distinction between simply saying an affirmation and creating a true miracle. That truth is this: your words must be supported by real faith and genuine feeling. If words are the seed, then emotion is the water, and belief is the sunlight. You cannot plant a seed of affirmation in the morning, then spend the rest of your day immersed in fear, worry, and doubt, and expect that seed to bloom. The universe does not respond to empty words. It responds to the true energy flowing from your heart. Florence said, "Only when emotion is stirred does the word carry creative power." That means you cannot repeat affirmations like a robot. You must live with them, breathe with them, and feel them as real, even if your outer world shows no evidence yet. Imagine saying, "I am living in abundance and prosperity," only to open your bank account and see a nearly empty balance. In that moment, you face two paths: either retreat into doubt and withdraw your words, or stand firm in faith, believing that what you declared is more real than any temporary circumstance. This is the test, and also the threshold. The sower must believe in the harvest, even while staring at barren soil. Florence often encouraged her students to add real emotion to each affirmation. For example, if you're affirming your dream job, close your eyes and truly feel it. What does it feel like to walk into that office? How does the sunlight pour through the windows? What are you wearing that day? Let your mind go ahead of you and prepare a place for your future. When you truly feel your words as truth, you unlock a vibration so strong that the material world cannot help but respond. This is not wishful thinking, it's vibrational alignment. It's a technique Florence used to help thousands transform their financial situations, heal illnesses, attract love, and even restore their faith in life itself. One inspiring example is a woman Florence once wrote about a woman drowning in debt and despair. But every morning she closed her eyes and spoke with deep conviction. "I am a magnet for money. Money comes to me from all directions under grace and in perfect ways." She didn't just speak the words, she felt them. She imagined the money flowing toward her like autumn leaves on the wind. And sure enough, within a few weeks, an unexpected sum arrived enough to give her a brand new beginning. So remember, emotion is the vibrational signature. When you speak with cold detachment, your message is weak. But when you speak with vibrant faith, with your eyes sparkling with hope, and your heart beating with expectancy, the universe cannot ignore you. If you don't feel strong faith, today start here. I am learning to trust. I am opening my heart to the light that is coming. Be gentle with yourself. Resonating with goodness takes time, just like learning a new language. But each time you make the effort to feel the truth behind your words, you're strengthening the vibrational bridge to the future you desire. And I want to hear your story. What moved you when you spoke an affirmation? Was there ever a moment when you knew what you said would come true? Share your thoughts in the comments, not just to express yourself, but to inspire someone else. When you tell your story, you spark belief in others. Our community becomes stronger, deeper, more alive. We are not walking this path alone. Every word you speak, when joined with the energy of thousands of other awakened souls, becomes part of a wave of creation more powerful than you can imagine. And if you're ready to go even deeper in the next section, I'll share a powerful morning affirmation taught by Florence herself, along with a step-by-step practice to make it burn bright in your vibration. This very affirmation has helped countless people rise from hopelessness, and I believe it can become a new beginning for you too. So stay with me on this journey. We're about to enter a deeper field of energy, where words are no longer mere sound, but the very keys that unlock the door you've been searching for. Beloved one. Of all the teachings Florence Scovel Shinn ever shared, there is one affirmation that many refer to as a gateway mantra, not only for the sacredness in its words, but because when spoken each morning, it's as if you are stepping through an invisible door into the life your heart has always longed for. The affirmation is, "The walls of lack and delay now crumble away, and I enter my promised land under grace." The first time you hear it, it may sound like a beautiful phrase. But if you pause, take a deep breath, and let each word sink into your soul, you'll realize this is more than a sentence. This is a declaration of rebirth. Picture yourself standing before a high, thick, rough wall. This wall is built from all the limiting beliefs you've ever held. I'm not good enough. I can't change. I have to wait for the right time. And then, you speak this affirmation. Each time you say it, the wall begins to crack. Each repetition causes another brick to fall. Until one day, light breaks through and you find yourself stepping into a new space, where everything you've prayed for is already waiting. Florence did not choose her words casually. She used crumble away, not smash or destroy, because miracles don't come through force. They come through surrender, through allowing. And she wrote under grace to affirm that any transformation that comes to you will come gently, wholly, and in the most perfect way for your soul. You may ask, how can I feel the power of this sentence each morning? The answer lies in visualization. When you repeat this affirmation, imagine yourself stepping through a gate of light. Behind you are doubt, pain, and delay. Ahead lies a green open field filled with freedom, creativity, abundance. Let your heart truly feel yourself entering your promised land. And remember, your promised land is not some faraway dream. It could be a peaceful morning, a job that makes you feel seen, a love that arrives at just the right time, or simply the feeling of being truly aligned with who you are. Anything that connects you to the essence of your soul, that is your promised land. If you practice this affirmation each morning, you'll begin to notice something curious. The world outside may not shift instantly, but your mind will. You'll find yourself acting as if good is already on its way. You'll stop reacting from fear. You'll begin to choose, and that power of choice will come from the words you've planted. I invite you to try this for the next 7 days. Each morning upon waking, place your hand over your heart and say, "The walls of lack and delay now crumble away, and I enter my promised land under grace." Then write down 3 things you want to see in your promised land today. At the end of the day, write down 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small, as signs that you are already stepping into that land. And if you've practiced this before or are ready to begin, share your experience in the comments. Let our community know what has shifted in your feelings, in the way you view life. Has something magical, even something tiny, already begun to appear? When you write it down, you're not just reaffirming it for yourself. You're planting a seed of hope for the thousands of souls, also searching for miracles in life's quiet corners. Florence once wrote, "When you speak the word that is yours by divine right, all the powers of heaven and earth begin to move to bring it to you." So don't hesitate to say this sentence each morning. Say it with an open heart. Say it as if you are unlocking the door to the very best of your life. And my dear, we're not done yet. In the next section, I'll share with you a true story, an extraordinary testimony of what happened when someone lived this affirmation with full-hearted devotion. It's a living example that when you speak the right word with unwavering belief, the universe will respond, and sometimes faster than you imagined. So stay with me. You may have stood before the door for a long time. Now, it's time to open it. My dear friend, sometimes theory remains just theory until it touches the beating heart of a real story. A living experience. A moment where everything Florence Scovel Shinn ever taught suddenly becomes vivid, like a painting coming to life. And today, I want to share with you such a story. A true story that stands as undeniable proof the right words spoken with faith can reshape reality. It's the story of a woman named Grace. Fitting, isn't it? Because everything that followed in her life happened under Grace. Grace was an art teacher living in a small town. She once saw the world through color and beauty, believing deeply in its goodness. But after a painful divorce, losing her job, and being diagnosed with a serious illness, she crumbled. Every morning, she would wake up and repeat a single phrase, "I am no one anymore." Everything began to shift when a friend sent her a copy of The Game of Life and How to Play It. Grace later said, "I didn't understand it all, but something touched the deepest part of me." And then one morning she stood before the mirror, tired eyes, hollow heart, and spoke a single sentence. "Life is working for me, not against me." That was it. No forced belief. No emotional performance, just words spoken gently, but spoken nonetheless. And do you know what? That simple act, that soft commitment, was the spark. She began repeating that phrase each morning. Over time, she added affirmations from Florence. "All good things come to me under grace in perfect ways. I am a magnet for love and creativity. I open my heart to receive what my soul has chosen." She didn't force belief. She didn't pretend. She simply continued, morning after morning, like a quiet ritual of remembering. And then the miracle came. A former colleague reached out, inviting her to co-host a free community art class. Grace said yes, even though she was still weak. But that class brought her back to life. She began painting again, each canvas a prayer in color. Within a few months, an art collector in New York stumbled upon her work online and offered to feature her in a small exhibition. From someone who once believed she was no one, Grace became the subject of an arts magazine article, celebrated as a symbol of personal revival through inner strength. When asked about her secret, she replied with just one sentence: "I learned to choose my words before life chose them for me." You see, power doesn't come from how eloquent your words are. Power lies in choosing the right words and standing by them daily, even when nothing seems to change on the outside. Florence always reminded us, you don't have to change the whole world. You only have to redirect the flow of your inner words. That flow will carve into your reality like water through stone until the breakthrough arrives. If you're in a season of struggle, I urge you, do not underestimate your words. Don't dismiss a single morning affirmation. Don't assume that just because you don't see results yet, your words aren't working. Maybe the seed you've planted needs more time. Maybe your inner ground is still being cleared to receive something greater. But it all begins and continues with one right sentence, spoken again and again. And I invite you, if you've ever experienced a miracle through affirmations, or if you're just beginning your journey, share below. Write down the words that kept your faith alive. Write down the tiniest shift you felt inside your heart. Because your story, just like Grace's, could be the flicker of hope for someone else still wandering in the dark. And if you're unsure where to begin, start with Florence's timeless affirmation: "The walls of lack and delay now crumble away, and I enter my promised land under grace." Let each repetition be one step closer to the light. And dear one, we are nearing the final stretch of our journey together. In the upcoming conclusion, I will help you gather the heart of this message, rekindle your deepest faith and most inspired intentions, and invite you to continue planting the right words so your life may truly transform. One day, one morning, one sentence at a time. So don't leave just yet. The most profound part is still waiting for you at the end. My dear friend, if you've walked with me all the way to this moment, then I believe something within you has stirred a seed of faith. A seed of belief in the invisible yet undeniable power of the spoken word. And not just any words, but words born of the soul. Words filled with truth emotion and the vibration of someone ready to open a new door in their life. Perhaps in the past, you doubted whether affirmations could truly affect your outer world. Perhaps it felt like your words vanished into silence, but now you've seen through these teachings and these true stories that each right word, when spoken in faith, becomes a brick in the bridge between you and the life you were always meant to live. Florence Scovel Shinn wasn't a fiery orator. She was a calm, steady woman filled with light and unshakable faith. And she inspired thousands, not through dramatic miracles, but through quiet spiritual practices, like saying a single sentence each morning. Today, you can become the one who carries that light forward. Remember this: you don't need to be fully ready to begin. You don't need perfect certainty to speak what your heart desires. You only need to choose the right words, speak them with sincerity, and continue morning after morning like lighting a candle in the dark. Because once the light is lit, it can never become darkness again. If there was a moment in this journey that moved you, a sentence, a memory, a realization that you had forgotten your worth, I invite you to share it in the comments. Because when you write it down, you're not just awakening your own vibration, you're opening a door for someone else out there. Someone waiting for a spark, a sign, a signal that says, you are not alone. And if this video touched your heart, I invite you to subscribe, not just to receive future messages, but to become part of a growing community, learning how to heal and co-create life through sacred words. Every follow, every comment, every share is a ripple that contributes to an ocean of hope, light, and awakening. Before we part, I leave you with this affirmation as a blessing, as a key to carry in your heart. I am divinely guided, protected, and led. Failure is impossible. Speak it, believe it, feel it. Because it is not just a sentence, it is the truth of who you are, renewed each day. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll continue to unlock the mysteries of inner power with the radiant voice of Florence Scovel Shinn, still whispering somewhere inside your heart.